during our last long rest. Our adventurers began, or continued, should I say, their journey towards the capital city of Kelmont, one known as Prim Tyr, an Elven or Sylvan translation for the First City. On their way here, they were escorting a man by the name of Gibbs, a small gnome set with age, who claims to have lived almost a century and has probably been traveling back and forth between cities and villages transporting merchandise for at least 70 of those years, if not longer. They regaled stories to the party of different times and how things are and will be or once were. And after they were protected or set upon by a bunch of bandits by the name of Humming Wings, they protected Gibbs and the merchandise, and they were allowed to carry on. After a couple of days more of travel, and still seeing this brown-plumed bird that keeps following them around and spectating them and spying on them, they set upon themselves to just, I suppose, ignore it for now, or maybe hope that it goes away, or maybe just it will be what it will be. But regardless of what other tales arise, they eventually arrived at the gates of Prim Tyr, a spectacle to the eyes, a marvelous city crafted from beautiful white stone and light blue tiles for the roofs, architecture that only delineates that of elven heritage, and honestly a size and scale that is almost dreamlike. This marvelous city is known as to how it can possibly be the capital. Here, this city is led by the commanding words of the tiny queen, set off by the council of the Tarot Council, which sets off a majority of the laws, and protected by the sigil knights, delineated by these wax sigils and small pieces of parchment that are attached to that wax sigil, that are then attached over their left pauldrons. These knights seem to be welcoming and caring, as they have been through the entirety of this adventure so far. And as they arrive at the gates, they could see them doing their routine inspections, and then once eventually checked all of Gibbs's merchandise, questioned them about who they were traveling with and what they were doing, they were allowed into the gates with no issues whatsoever. Upon entering into the Prim Tyr, they were able to see this painting come to life. These marble floors. Normally every city has maybe a couple of stone pavements and maybe a pebbled path every now and again. But this one was purely made out of this polished marble. And even then, the way that it was set for people to just step on felt like a mosaic. It told ancient stories of this city, or how it was once built, or maybe it just had patterns that represented some iconography from different religions and arcana. Regardless, the splendorous city was now displayed to them. Gibbs mentioned that he will try and pass around the name of you guys to make sure that any merchants can recognize you and give you 10% off. And also was very, very happy that you guys saved his life and gave you all 75 gold, I believe it was, to spread amongst the party to enjoy. As you guys arrived at Prim Tyr, well, there was many things to cross off. Eldrith went over to the university here, one known as Gloomwick, where hopefully he desired to learn more about the Azure Magus and maybe find more information about the Watchers and just Azure magic in general. Ambrose, Syldia, Doi, and Celwydd all went to the shopping district, a place known as the Gilded Path, where it was basically a shopping mall or a shopping strip filled with shops. And here they bought some new clothes for themselves, more fitting for winter, met a couple of other merchants, and also inquired a bit around for Doi's weird crystal that kind of broke and came out of him once he almost died against the scorching wrath of Thera. They were told to head over to the university, that perhaps a man by the name of Professor Cornelius would be able to help them more with that inquiry. So after enjoying some light autumn sun, shopping and gathering some information, they also headed over to the university. Then that left the remaining two people, Hjarlgron and Pierce, to do some black marketing,
Crime.
shall we say. Going down to the lower part of Primtier, yet still incredibly cozy and comfortable and a bit leafy, even in the lowest part of the city. The markets here were filled with people just trying to sell whatever and anything. It was a free-for-all. A large plaza with set-up stalls, all decorated in different ways, with people wanting to just sell and make a quick buck with whatever they had. Here, with Pierce's knowledge of Thieves' Cant, he was able to figure out that there is such a person called the Golden Devil. On the surface, he just seems to be a trader of exotic goods that people could trade with and make a quick buck off of. However, it seems that under that golden smile there was a bit more. This man, or tiefling, was a blue-skinned tiefling with large devil-like horns and golden eyes and a golden jagged smile. He was named Arxes, and he was more than happy to bring Hjarlgron and Pierce to a quieter room where they could perform some more under-the-table trades. Hjarlgron and Pierce wanted to get rid of the draconic egg that they were carrying with them, and they knew that the law in this place by the Tiny Queen was that trading living goods was completely illegal and frowned upon. So they had to do this down hush-hush. After a couple of haggling, they were able to finally reach a happy point with Arxes, trading the egg and the location of 2 more for 275 gold. Arxes also gave them a golden card that's Arxes told them to just call into or whisper into, and he would appear if they have anything else they would ever like to trade. So, after making that trade and being happy that that responsibility was off their shoulders, they were left to just go back out onto the streets, which, with some form of magic, it turned out that Arxes wasn't just leading them back to the normal place. As soon as they walked out through the door, they arrived at some other random location in Primtier, probably a way to avoid getting caught. Right. The only other thing that I can remember of recollection that might be slightly important is Ambrose's induction into the university, as he made his way around annoying certain students and making a show out of himself, as well as also stealing a badge from one of the students. These badges, these pins, were representations of basically a student that passed the process and is now a learning academic student at the University of Gloomwick. It allowed them to go into a certain room, be able to take out books, as well as other just general benefits of being a student in the university. So, the student who stole it off was left badgeless and ended up wandering out of the university to find some more knowledge on divination. So, with all of those things happening, we can now return to Primtier, and this is where I let you guys do whatever it is that you want to do. So,
it's out to best. Let's do it.
Beautiful
Out to best
city
time,
of
baby.
Primtier. Plenty of things to see, do, people to speak to, leads to follow, not follow, ignore. Maybe you just will head off. Who knows? It's entirely up to you.
We're done, let's go.
Whatever you decide to do,
Absolutely fat sack of gold.
whatever you decide to do, it's up to you. So, you still have loads of time left because you guys arrived at Primtier roughly in the early morning. So, yeah, what would you like to do?
Brandon,
We'll spend the next week here.
Well, Hjarlgron knows what he wants to do. He wants to go to a magical store.
Yeah, that's what he thinks it's probably gonna be.
I also immediately know that I want to do something because I figured out that this is not good for that student without his badge.
For continuity's sake, I'll go to Ambrose first for the badge sake.
Okay.
So I will, so the student got up and he took the badge and he was happy and waved you off, and Aimee, his name was, was happy to leave it with you, and he began leaving the university. You did see him leave 2 books into the shelf, but he is carrying a satchel. There may or may not be bags in there, but he did leave the 2 books he was reading on the shelves and began wandering out of the library.
So, the last time I used a spell in the library, the librarian woman came along and told me off for using my unseen servant.
Correct.
Right? Said no spells in the library and it sets off like magical alarms. What was this time period between me casting the spell and her coming over?
I'd say maybe a couple of minutes, 1 or 2 minutes.
I got a couple
It wasn't
of
like
minutes. Okay.
instantly appears. Skyrim NPC just pops out. What are you doing? Stop right there.
You violated
Okay.
the law.
He hopped into our
No
teleportation.
magic in the library.
Stop right there, criminal scum. You violated
I'm very
the law.
quickly going to like walk behind like a wooden pillar or like somewhere slightly out of sight in the library,
Very well.
behind a staircase or something like that. And I'm going to cast Disguise Self to
Very well.
appear exactly like that librarian woman.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go rushing after the student.
You see students sat down looking at you with like on it as if they've seen a ghost. Seeing this woman, whoever she may be, running in her black grey kind of like uniform academic dress and just full sprinting in these heels, and they're all just looking at you like, what the
I just
fuck?
think there's like a fire in the building.
Like, they're all a bit agitated. Yeah, they're all a bit concerned. You can easily, with your passive insight, assume that this is odd. That these students are seeing this uniform high council professor running through the library. They're like, huh? They all dart across, but yes, you managed to like make a sprint past the library, out through the library doors, and then just before exiting the large, like huge Gloomwick gate, you see Igony conversing with another student, just as he's about to leave.
As it quickly like come to a stop. Young man.
Both of the students turn around. Oh,
You
miss.
there, and I point to him instead, like Igni.
Yeah, the both of the students don't bow, but they like kind of like do a quick little head nod. Oh, Madam Verilia, what can we help you with?
I just kind of wave my hand casually at the bar, like yes, whatever, you know, like that kind of like wave. Hold on 1 second. You can leave the lights on. Yeah. Yeah, just leave them on. Yeah. Okay, grandfather passing through.
Our grandfather.
I'm going to look at Igni, look him like scathingly up and down briefly, and I can't help but notice you've misplaced your badge, young man.
He quickly, like, muscle memory, touches over his left shoulder where he's pinned it to his cloak, and he notices it's not there. He taps. Oh, what happened? I had it just a moment ago, I swear, miss. He kind of...
Perhaps you should check your dorm in case you have lost it, and if not, you'll have to get yourself a new one.
Get a new one, miss. It's not just being expelled.
I'm feeling particularly benevolent today.
They both
Go to the
look
front
at
desk
they
before you
both look
blow
at each
yourself
other.
up.
Like, oh, she's being kind. Like,
Wow, she would expel you for losing your badge by accident? Wow, tough.
Wow.
Smart people
Go to
don't.
the front
So
desk
much.
they take
before
a
you
go.
get yourselves blown up. Go on.
No, of course, miss. Right away. Thank you, miss. They both wander off. Even though the guy that is next to him does have his badge, for some reason he feels inclined like he also has to go and find his badge.
And then I'm very quickly gonna look for a place out of like the public eye. It's like a just like a
Yeah, it's
another
all...
pillar, a bookshelf, a
Yeah.
staircase to go under, and then just get rid of the disguise.
Right, you let it down. They both go off, and you see them go upstairs, and probably you assume towards their dorm room.
Okay, crisis averted, no students blowing up.
You see also coming around the corner out of the library indoors, Madame
Okay.
Verilia
And then with
walking
that, I'm
around.
just gonna
And you can see her, she's just looking. She's like,
just casually like
are you like?
just casually inspecting like maybe a painting or something on the wall.
She walks over to you.
Morning.
What did I tell you about casting spells in my university?
To not to?
Exactly. Cast another spell on these grounds, young man. I'll make sure it's the last spell you ever cast. Is that clear?
I'm very flattered. You called me young, but I will take your word. And I promise I will not break it.
You're also hereby prohibited from the library. Good day.
This is fine. I don't need permission. Yeah, that makes sense. As she's walking away, just one question, if you don't mind.
Before she turns back around to see you, you just hear like a side sigh, just a... She turns around. Her gaze meets yours. Yes?
If students are not permitted to cast spells on the premises, how do they practice their magic if they're learning?
On the casting grounds.
Right. Very, very specific. And if they lose their badge and they were to leave without it, and like students are under a lot of stress, right? They forget things all the time. Would they just blow up?
You almost can't help it. It's so faint, but she, or like the corner of her mouth almost like upturns from a little bit of a giggle, but then instantly goes straight again. No, they would not simply blow up. But all of our academics have been picked for incredible memory and ability to keep in mind everything that they need. If, in such an occasion, which has never happened here at Gloomwick University, if a student was to forget their badge, and they walked out through those doors, they would be wiped from all of the memory they've learned from inside these doors. And they would also be expelled.
No.
They would also then be expelled from the academy.
I thought you were going to say wipe from existence. I was going to say...
No, they don't.
Yeah,
they don't
wouldn't blow up.
They
would
don't
just
kill
disappear.
them. They just lose any knowledge that they have gained from Gloomwick University is just gone.
They walk out, just get dusted. Like,
They don't kill anyone, obviously.
It's just like real uni. You leave and you forget everything.
Let's just say our students over several years have never forgotten their badge. We pick the highest academics for a reason.
I understand. I mean, but there must be a first and the first time for everything. I feel like we've gotten off on the wrong foot. I apologize deeply for my transgressions in your fine library and your premises. And I bow.
Your apology is taken, Mr.
Ambrose. You can call me Ambrose.
Madame Virilia. She does like a polite curtsy. Well, your apology
What a
is
beautiful name.
accepted, young Ambrose. However, the judgment on being prohibited from the library remains.
An understandable decision.
If I do not uphold
I
my
am
standards,
new here,
then
of course.
students would start getting away with all sorts of things.
No, that is very true. That is very true. I would hate for that to happen.
She nods acknowledgingly. Well, I am a very busy woman. I shall get back to some marking and then some clearing of academics. Good day.
Good day. And I bow. And in his hand in his pocket, just thumbs over the badge, like triumphantly with a little smile to himself.
She's been had. She walks off and returns to what seems to be her domain, which is the library, and wanders back in. She
I'll just poke my head like
super
in the doorway and just try and get the others' attention.
Well, I was gonna say, as soon as she walks to the library door, you can actually see how she almost quite like cuttingly looks at you one last time and then closes the library door.
Oh. Okay. Yes, I'll just Oh, what's up those stairs? Kind of wanders a little bit.
Where else can I get banned?
It really is just like dropping a child off in some random mall and just letting them explore. That's what we've done here.
Bro's a fucking non-mag in Hogwarts, essentially, walking around being like, what can I fuck with?
Okay.
Either way,
Yeah, I'll just kind of wander around a bit in the sort of opening area
Yeah.
and just wait
well,
till I see the others.
luckily, Eldrith was waiting for a class, a lecture, and it wouldn't be too long until that begins, so it wouldn't take too long to see Eldrith walking out the library doors with, I'm assuming, Celwydd and Doi and Syldia.
Yeah, we'll tag along. I'm just killing time until it's time to go and pick up my harp strap. So I'll just, yep.
Very well. So you'd see them all leave. Doi, is there anything that you would like to do in this academy since you were told?
The thing is he doesn't know what he needs.
Well, you have a name.
Yeah. I am trying to remember that this guy doesn't remember much. Also, I don't have very many ideas as well.
The name you were given was Professor Cornelius.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I did not remember that. From who?
Because you asked the Warforged, and he said, "Oh, maybe you'll have more luck at the university."
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I will go walk up to a random member of staff.
Yeah. Okay. Easy enough.
Hello.
You. Maybe it's because of the equality in size. You find yourself wandering up to a halfling with messy, frizzy hair, long robes that kind of fall back to the ground. They're probably robes for someone that was designed to be 6 foot tall, but he's still wearing them anyway, so they escape all the way down his back and onto the ground and almost like a carpet behind him as he drags them along. And he's got these long kind of circular spectacles, and he looks to you. Oh, a Warforged in these lands? In a university, we can always accept all of them. Hello, young man. I am Professor Tornin. I'll write that in.
Thank you.
It's a tormentor.
Where can I find a Cornelius? Wow, that is a name.
Professor Cornelius? I believe he's about to just come out of his latest lecture. He's just given his latest class on arcane beginnings. If you want, I could take you to him.
Yes. What else does he teach?
He's a master of materials, the arcana, and historical aspects of the Novum.
I don't know what that is.
Young boy, don't fear. What? And as you're walking, as he begins taking you down the long corridors, probably towards his lecture hall, you just ask, what are you doing here? Why are you looking for this Professor Cornelius?
I am broken.
Oh. Don't worry, young man. And he kind of puts his hand on your metallic shoulder. We all feel broken at one point.
No, literally. Look. And he's gonna pull out the shard. This was in me.
He pulls up his spectacles. Let's have a look here. Well, my domain is more in charm magic. Well, it isn't a catalyst of any sort of magic, as far as I'm aware, or an ingredient for a spell compound.
No.
You say this was inside you?
Yes.
How peculiar. Well, luckily it is material. So, Professor Cornelius should have an answer for you. Ah, here we are! He points to this large door frame that's like oval and then pointy at the top, and it's a wooden old door, and it's open, and you can just see on the inside students racking their books together, putting them into their satchels, and beginning to leave. At the front of it all, in front of this large lecture theatre, you do see a person, some sort of high academic. He appears to be a grey and black-plumed owlin, so an owlfolk, who wears circular glasses. He kind of seems to be wearing a light brown and maroon checkered robe, and a dark red bow tie as well. I shall put an image if Alchemy so lets me, but I can't imagine it might. But he's packing away his stuff. He's kind of dismissing a lot of his students in a quite a formal manner. And all of the students are walking out. But yeah, Professor Cornelius seems to be inside of the room. Tornind, who's with you, just kind of like waves you in, and he's like, well, yeah, that should be everything from me. If you happen to be walking around charms again, let me know. And he walks off.
Okay. What do you teach?
Charms,
say back to him.
my little friend. Charms. I'm an excellent magician of the charming class.
Okay.
Every now and again I like to dabble in a bit of evocation as well, but it's not exactly my field of expertise.
Sorry, I'm writing all this down. I don't know what that is. Goodbye.
He just laughs and gets on with it. He seems to be quite a youthful soul as he walks off.
Alright, I'm gonna waddle down the stairs carefully to Mr. Cornelius.
Alright. From the top of the lecture hall, and looks all the way down, you begin wandering down the stairs. Some of the students look at you and pack their stuff and kind of leave their desks. You can see Cornelius beginning to use some sort of dust to clear out the chalk that he was writing on some of the boards. Turns to you. He just looks at you, kind of up and down, almost expectingly.
Hello, my name is Doy, not Dion.
What a peculiar little fellow. I'm Professor Cornelius. What is it I can help
Hello.
you with today?
I am broken.
Aren't we all?
No, I am literally broken. Look.
And I'll show him the shard!
You see his feathered arms lift up, and before taking it, he politely asks you, "May I inspect it?"
Okay.
He picks it up between his long fingernails and lifts it up. His glasses that have a band that normally wrap around his neck, almost like a necklace, he lifts them up and places them over his pointed beak. You can see his reaction kind of opens as his eyes glare at it. Oh, you say that this was part of you?
Yes, I was engulfed in flame.
Interesting. And yet you still walk with no core. He hands it back to you. Who made you, dear one?
I don't know. You say you teach history, right?
I do happen to dabble in quite a lot of history, mainly for gods and other life-changing events. But my main circle is material.
How do you research history?
We travel. We garner information from different places, different times. We read and study, cross-check.
Do I need to do all of those things to learn? That is a lot.
If you want to learn who made you, then perhaps you have to. Although, it is odd that you don't know who your maker is.
Incomplete data.
I, on the other hand, have an hypothesis or two. Do you know much of your kind, D01?
I have seen a few, but they seem different.
They are. Your kind has been called the Warforged. There was a brilliant man once called Cabal Valir. A pale elf, of course. He tried many things in his lifetime to be remembered, set an example for the future. But in his journey of playing God, he wished to create life. And so he did. However, you are not from the same making as him. All Warforged in this world are somehow connected through the thoughts of Cabal. Yet, you are not. Do you know why?
Am I broken?
No. You are special. Every other automaton, all of the other Warforged, all are designed with cores. You know, amongst the skin and muscle of men and creatures, there are hearts, yes?
Yes.
And he begins drawing on the chalkboard like a ball, and then you can see him draw like a heart, and then the shape of a man and a heart. And then he begins to draw kind of the shape of you, kind of like a small Warforge. And in your center, and in the Warforge center, there is a core, much like a heart. Except yours does not flow and beat blood. Yours passes arcana, allowing you to live. And all of the Warforged have the exact same core. Except for you. They're all made with something called Omegium. And he draws this shape of the comet, and then a couple of, like, almost as if breaking points that have come off of the comet. And he circles one of them. Almost fractured pieces of our Azure Comet. Incredibly powerful pieces of materia. Ones that could even replicate that of a heart.
But I have none.
This is why you feel different than the others, DO1. Your core, and he points to the thing in your hand, this weird broken glass, is different. Have you ever heard of the story of the girl with a glass heart? Philo.
No. That sounds dangerous.
It is. It was. In Vesselia, a long time ago, a woman was born with a heart made of glass. So pure and untainted by darkness or corruption. Transparent, one that would let light shine through and create a prism of color. That young girl eventually died from the corruption of this world. it was too dark for her light heart. And when she died, young Philo's heart shattered into 16 pieces. Those pieces were eventually culminated and studied by a man. And they were called philosopher tears. You happen to have one of 16 in your hand.
No way.
How?
That's a good question, my young friend. They say that a philosopher tear is capable of extending life or the vitality of anything endlessly. They say that if they were to imbue an item with it, it would last forever. A magical effect would never end. A piece of magical chalk would never fade. Someone who had this within them would never die.
Can I die?
Well, it's a simple case of observation. Is this philosopher tear in your hand within your workings now, young Doi?
No.
Then you are as mortal as I. How
I will. No, good.
how did this thing become broken?
A woman.
Okay.
A
A
woman
woman
exploded in flame.
He lets out a chuckle, but he's a smart enough man to figure out and piece things together. I see. You have faced death, then, dear one. You are fortunate, yet at the same time, unfortunate. You would have died in that explosion. Nothing would remain of you. But instead, the force of this philosopher tear gave you another life, sacrificing its own.
I will put it back in me.
To replace a philosopher tear inside you would make sense. However, the magic within it seems so dormant and almost faint. You must find a way to rejuvenate the power that remains in that philosopher tear. And then you'll have a choice, Doi. In your hands, you'll have something that could make you immortal, or could change life itself to something else.
Where?
Um,
What is the source of its magic so I may locate it?
You're a smart person, Doi. Point A leads to point B, and B leads to C, with no wavering lines in between in your mind. Sometimes the journey from A to B is far more convoluted than you believe. If I wish to know how I could create a philosopher tear, many people have tried to replicate such a thing, but they have failed. Many people seem to believe that Arcana is the answer to a philosopher tear, but few seem to remember that the philosopher tear came from the Novum themselves, not from Arcana. So perhaps your journey will not take you to a place of deep Arcana, but instead of one of divine inspiration.
Doubtful.
If I was to bet on how you could restore your philosopher tier, you would have to be one of few who set foot in the Novum realm.
Okay, I will do that.
He laughs. Of course. Well, I hope that your journeys are equally as easy as your mindset is. But perhaps you should also look into who you were. For someone to have made you with a piece of a philosopher tier, they must have been someone unique.
Yes.
So I recommend you retrace your steps. Maybe find who made you. Maybe
I
they
will
can help.
go northwest.
And that's where you are guided.
I have one more question.
Please.
If I have no core, am I a warforged?
He crouches down. Do you feel alive, Doi? Do you feel passion, happiness, sadness?
Yes. I do not want war.
Then you are as mortal as the rest of us. And he forms a smile.
I am glad. I am lost.
Then perhaps I can help you back to the entrance. Your company has been very enjoyable, and you've granted me the ability to first see a philosopher's stone. Philosopher
Can
tears are rare to come by. 16 in the entire world, you know. And he begins walking a bit more casually.
What happens if I get another? Can I put that one in?
You could. Finding a replacement would be easier than replenishing the one that exists.
I will do that.
Well, when you do, dear one, I would love to see it.
And then I will avoid fire women.
Yes, we should all avoid casters of great destruction. There are people in this world who see magic for cataclysm. We have to be the barrier that stops them.
Stopping the war.
There is no war here, only conflict with the world.
Or no.
As he's walking through the long university corridors, you eventually are rejoined. You can see your friends in the distance in the main hall that leads out of the Gloomwick University. Cornelius walks with you guys all the way up until he meets the rest of the party at the front door. Are these your allies, dear one? Your friends?
Yes, they stick out. It makes
Stick out.
identification easier.
Ah, I see.
Well, I'm glad. Hello, I am Professor Cornelius. Your friend here has something of great value in his hands. A philosopher tear. But it is no longer within him, and he feels a bit lost. Perhaps in your journeys you can help him find his way back.
Well, thank you. I will find another.
Well, the journey to find another might be as complicated as traveling to the Novum realm itself.
Okay.
So you
Farewell, friends. And he looks up away from you guys and turns around. Now, before my next lecture, a spot of tea. And he begins happily walking on.
Hello, I am back.
You will see
So did
his,
you get the answer that you wanted?
Yes and no. This is a philosopher tier.
That sounds very special.
It makes you immortal.
Oh. Look at everyone else that's with me, like, what the fuck?
I'm glad that's what he got from that.
T1 thinks he's.
That's what he got. That's his 2 bullet points.
But it's broken, so I need a new one. Or to fix this one.
Ah.
This was in somebody's chest. Not my own.
Okay. I'm just getting more and more confused the more that he talks.
Syldia
Also,
and Ambrose, you guys would know of the stories of the philosopher tears and how they come from the girl with the glass heart.
Also, I am not a warforged.
Well, you bloody look like one.
No, you.
Yeah.
I am something different, it seems. I don't have a circle in me.
A circle.
Yes.
I love him so much.
I ain't got no
Okay.
fucking
Well-
circles in me, gun.
Well, wherever we go, we'll see if we can help you find what you need.
Okay. We need to.
Or
I need to go to the Novum.
easier, easier said than done, bud.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, maybe if we find something which can help us along the way, we can visit the Novum. But
Okay.
as of now, it'll be impossible to do that. Unless you
Yes.
want to die first.
I don't even know where the Novum is.
I don't think many do.
I should have asked. Oh well.
Well, now that we've had that shocking revelation, the door is not in fact a warforged and needs a philosopher's stone in his chest.
Philosopher's
Anyone
tip.
else find anything interesting?
Did you say we've come out of the lecture, Brendan?
Yeah. For continuity's sake, I would say
Oh.
that you've been in the lecture for the time that you're allowed as non-students.
What was the lecture on?
Azure Magus, a lecture given on people that look at the stars and craft arcane magic from the comets and the stars.
Ah,
Which is why Eldrith was there.
yeah. I probably didn't glean much from it, to be honest, but it's probably interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting to hear, especially for someone of your Arcana nature, which is obviously far more whimsical
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. It was interesting to hear that there's people that somehow garnered magic from the light of the stars and the comet and the moon, and somehow use that as a tool of manipulating Arcana. So yeah, it was probably pretty interesting.
I mean, I have that thing where I can look at the stars and know where I'm going.
Yeah, so actually
That's
maybe,
like
yeah, true, maybe there
a
is a bit
relevant thing.
to Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that lecture happening like while I was doing the thing like with Ambrose, or like?
No, you would have been able to
Did
be
they
in that
grab me
lecture.
on the way?
Yeah, they grabbed you on the way.
Oh,
It
the
was just after
whole
that.
time Ambrose would have kept nudging Eldrith and just being like, "That's you." Just like
You will
raising his eyebrows at him, and like every time something was mentioned,
you will
being
have
like,
garnered no response.
"Can you do that?"
Just
That
constant
would be
bugging.
annoying.
Yeah, at some point throughout the lecture, the professor probably would have said something along the lines of, and it's believed that if it's Algemegas who was strong enough, could even pull down the stars themselves. And I imagine, Ambrose, you could have been like, oh wow, I can't wait for you to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
When are you going to pull that one out of your ass, Eldrith? Cool.
Is it possible to learn this power?
But yeah, you can all gather at the gates of the university and set off if you want to. It's up to you. Unless you have something else you would like to do whilst at Gloomwick.
Think of anything
Has
particular?
everyone got what they need out of this trip?
I think
What
that
did
was
you
pretty
get
much
out of
all
this
I
trip?
wanted to.
Well, I'm a student now.
You're a student. Oh. A student of what, may I ask?
Thievery.
Learning. The arcane, history, religion, all of it.
All of it, I see.
Yeah, I've got a badge and everything. Just like shows it out of his pocket.
I wonder whose that is.
They were that impressed that they basically let me in after day one. They said no one has ever passed the entry test on such a level.
Really?
Insight check.
That's some deception rolling if I've, that's some deception rolling if I've ever heard it. Amazing. Top fucking tier.
Regardless, I'll roll my eyes and play along with it.
If you want to, you
Well,
can roll yourself in.
also, if anyone requires, I can get books from the library without blowing up. The only problem is I'm banned from the library.
You got yourself banned from the library in less than 2 hours' time.
It was a rough first day. I don't think education is for me.
Passed the test on the first try, but got banned from the fucking library. Yeah. This checks out. This checks out. This checks out.
You win
The
some, you lose
fucking
some.
gifted student that just causes trouble.
You're the student that only turns up for the day of the exam.
Yeah.
Yeah, you stay at home the rest of the time. Ah. And you, Eldrith? Are you satisfied with your time here?
I feel like I could pull more out of here, but we have places to be, don't we?
Well, while you're here, you can visit as much as you like. I don't think we're in any rush at the moment.
Are we not?
I don't know. I guess that depends on what the others are up to.
Are there any particular books that you'd like to take with you? I mean, you could just take this badge and take the ones you need.
He looks at the badge with scrutiny. How did you even get this?
I found it.
With a 3 in deception.
Well, I'm sure you did. But I think I will ask myself, if you don't mind.
Of course.
Weren't you... Why were you banned?
I was annoying the librarian a little bit. Apparently, you're not supposed to cast magic in the magic school.
You were casting magic?
Yeah, only twice.
Well, this first time told me not to. And I did it again.
Honest mistake.
Oh, of course.
I slipped.
Yeah, it just slipped my mind, you know.
Of course. For now, I'm gonna... Brandon,
Uh-huh.
since it's just MIA for a bit, the contents of the lecture, could you send them over to me afterwards?
Yeah, sure. I can do a more like
Yep.
summarize version of it, sure. No problem.
And I suppose for now I'll stick with all of you. Or I can go and ask if I can enroll.
Well, you should probably do that while we're here. And then we
Immediately
can go find
turns
the others
and,
if they manage to pawn off that egg.
Immediately turns and just goes to find whoever it is he needs to find for enrollment.
Yeah, there'd
He
be
doesn't even know.
a receptionist desk.
Go with it.
They'd ask you for like your name and like your preferred like school of magic, what modules you would like to like enroll into and study. And basically the gist of it, the TLDR of it is, now that they have your name, they'll do a like, basically whenever you can come in, and they will allow you to do kind of like a beginner's induction test of casting magics and stuff like that, and then see how capable you are when it comes to like your mind. So they'll do a written test on Arcana and stuff like that, and the knowledge of the Arcana. There'll be a written test and then a actual practical casting magical test.
Ugh, I
I can
hate
imagine
written tests.
sorcerers rocking up and just being like, I don't know, Lamau, it just works.
Literally. Sorcerers are like their own group in this university. Like, people who are sorcerers stick together like the snobby bunch that are like, oh, look at them studying to cast a spell.
They're like the rich people kids.
Yeah, look at them.
Yeah, their dad's power got them into school.
They have to study to cast this spell.
Oh, look at you researching, you nerd. You're only here because your dad's a dragon.
And then you have,
one privilege.
and then there's also the other side of the sorcerers, which is the wild magic sorcerers. They're like their own separate entity of chaotic fucks that are like, no one wants to be around because they don't know when they're gonna either turn into a plant pot or blow themselves up the next time they cast a spell.
A plant pot.
There's an own like containment field for magics for sorcerers that can't contain their magics.
Terrible.
But yeah.
Specialist education.
Alright. In the meantime, while all of that was happening, Piers and Hjarlgron, who are together, what were you guys doing so that I can eventually link you guys up with the rest of the party?
Oh, I'm just gonna find a random person. Just ask them
Drinking
if they know
contest.
where
No.
you can make if they can point me into the direction of a shop that deals with items of power.
Okay.
That's how he's gonna phrase it.
Yeah, but pretty well worded. You will be guided to a place called Yoden's Anvil.
Oh, sheesh.
It's him.
Is it spelled like our big
Yeah,
giant boy?
yeah, spelled the same as the good
It's
old
him.
Yoden.
Nice, nice. I don't know how to spell that. So I need to know.
Yodin.
Yeah, Yoden. Yoden.
Den.
Yeah, Yoden.
Oh, then.
You're dead. What's up, my
Yoden's-
Skrilla?
I'm just gonna call it Yoden's Magic Shop.
My man.
It's Yoden's Anvil, it's called.
That's the one. Okay.
But yeah,
Remembers the name Yoden.
are you
not
going?
Anvil.
Are you going with Pierce? Or...
Yeah.
Cool.
There's
Right.
nowhere else to be right now.
You two head over to the quote-unquote crafting / refining quarter of Primtier in the Bellows, and you wander up to a building that almost is very unforged-like. In a lot of ways, it still holds up the same architecture as the elven stuff around it. It doesn't stick out by any means. From the outside, you do see the swinging kind of metal sign that says Yoden's Anvil on the front. You do see a lot more smoke being bellowed out of the roof of this building in comparison to the others, with a lot more windows. But other than that, it looks relatively the same. But once you walk in, it opens up to a very traditional blacksmith shop. And you can hear the chains rattling, you can hear the sound of metal clanging, searing sounds of squelching water that hits like boiling temperatures, and the usual other kind of atmospheric sounds of a blacksmith. Inside, you are met with a rugged, yet seemingly tall and confident, dark green-skinned orc. Humongous frame, with several muscles fitting like that of a blacksmith. He has a buzz cut with a messy beard. He seems youthful, and his forearms seem to be covered in scorch marks and cuts. I shall show you the man in question. He seems to have other people working around in the forge with him, but he...
God damn!
But...
He's
That
green!
fucking arm!
But,
I like this man.
he's very much like an orc. He is,
No, he is built.
It's
He's
a
awesome. Look at him.
strong, tall fellow, works away. He's got like this kind of very kind of almost bald buzz cut. He probably normally goes bald, but he maybe hasn't had the time to like shave off the rest and to go bald again. So he's, just letting it grow out a bit. Long beard. It has a few strands of grey that have been covered by soot, so covering it back to black almost. And he just wears these red, ragged kind of cloths and leathers. He doesn't really seem to dress with much, and then covering his forearms, probably trying to stop a lot of the burns and stuff, are these kind of leather braces. And yeah, he seems to be kind of working away at things. As you enter into the shop, he notices you quite quickly, as he places this large, what I could only call like a giant machete-like weapon, and places it into a barrel of water as he was kind of like working away at it. Turns around, dusts off his hands, and you can see smile form underneath his beard with these long, jagged tusks that come out from underneath. And you can see he's got those tusks pierced with metal earrings basically, but coming around from his teeth. And he looks over your way, and with a kind of a confident smile, looks over to you, and you can hear his kind of dark, gravelly voice break through the rest of the noises around here. It's been a while since I've seen a tall fellow like myself. What can I get you?
Well, specifically, I'm looking for some kind of magical amulet.
Looks around. Well, I'm in the business of crafting magic. I can make those as well. Amulets on the other side.
If it needs be, I can get the amulet for you to do the magic. I'm not too sure how it works. All I know is this is involved. And I'll take out the magic essence jar.
Mm-hmm. Oh. An essence of a larger creature. You must know your way around hunting.
What I do. Being from the north, pretty much all we do.
What exactly are you looking for? Maybe a necklace is a bit too wilted for this. Perhaps a pauldron or something.
Armor is not for me. And this isn't even for me in the first place. A small little robot friend.
Yeah.
He seems to have a bit of a problem with taking a hit.
And with this essence, you want me to make something that makes him a bit more resilient?
At least to be able
He's
to
just a little guy.
more resilient, be able to... I don't know. He does seem a bit on the weaker side constitutionally.
I've got an idea then. Like I said, amulets aren't exactly my thing, but I can make him something that he can wear. A singular pauldron, maybe. Same effects that you're looking for from the amulet, but instead of being dainty and small, gives him a bit more cover.
Well, I suppose that'll do.
Okay, but you do need to keep in mind that this... I'll gesture how big Doy is. He's about yay big.
All right.
He's about the size. He's probably about.
He's probably the size
door
of that
I've
pauldron.
given.
Yeah.
So smaller. That's all right.
Yes.
I'm used to making armor for halflings and gnomes anyway. Probably won't be too different.
Pretty much about the same
Yeah, he's
size.
around
Yes.
that size, actually. Yeah.
Very well. You can see him small, a charismatic smile. I can work through that. You have the essence. Do you have any of the other materials with you that perhaps I'm gonna need?
I'm not too sure what else you would need. I know money would be involved, and he'll just take out the sack and just put it down on the table next to it.
That will cover it. I'll make sure I buy the materials I need. I'll take that job off of your hands. I'll make sure I get this done.
May I ask how long this would take?
Well, I'll be asking Nella for a couple of the resources. I'll need to pay her for the awakening of the armor piece. As far as me
Who's this,
refining
sorry?
this... Oh. I have a working partner, shall we say. I make a lot of the items mundane, strong in nature. But then Nira, she's an awakener. Someone who's capable of bringing out dormant magic. He's basically the person that will create this thing to make it a bit more magically resilient. So I'll have to pay her for the awakening of the item as well, but that will come from your costs.
Very well. I need to remove my drink egg from my inventory. That's gone.
Second. So mechanically, you are trying to craft a amulet of...
Health.
Okay, give me a second.
So it'd just be a pauldron.
I mean, we're not crafting it.
Well, no, he's
This guy's
crafting it.
crafting
Yeah,
you
You're
would be
paying-
crafting it for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, mechanically that's what I want. For
Right,
our
so
small,
there's...
tiny man.
Okay, so obviously he'll not make it an amulet and make it a bit more cool, and he can have a bit of a cool like side pauldron. We can make that
Oh
look a
yeah,
bit.
those are about to get dripped out.
Yeah, we can make it look a bit cooler than just an
Sheesh.
amulet that he's wearing. It makes a bit more
Oh,
sense, I think.
Could we make it like what is it? The fucking back thing on the stupid fucking cars. Can we just put
A
that on?
spoiler?
Like a spoiler.
Spoiler?
Tire spoiler.
He transforms into like a berry, gets a spoiler. That'd be excellent.
Oh my god.
Ah,
Right,
can-
so initially, technically, the Amulet of Health is a rare item, and it gives you a Constitution of 19.
Picture like,
Now,
a tiny
there-
little spider with the spoiler.
There
Let's
are
go.
other versions of an Amulet of Health that are less rare. So, for example, instead of being rare, there's another one that is 17 con instead. That brings up to 17 con, and that one is. Let's have a look here. I'm not remembering my.
He's
shit
up
off
to
the
a
top of my
17
head.
count. That's huge.
Let me just double check how the items were, because kind of how belts of strength were, or well, giant strength, etc. How there's like tiers to each one of them. There's kind of a similarity between amulets of health. The base one is rare and it gives 19 con, but that would be very expensive and it will take roughly about a week to make, and it will be like, let me double check the pricing. I know it costs 700 golden pieces to make.
Okay, so about halfway there on the price.
If you want the rare one, and that's like
Yeah.
19 con. The one underneath that is 17 con, and that's 500 golden pieces.
Do we need another 175 for that one?
So, which out of the two do you want to try and do? The time is going to take them the same amount of time to make them both, which is going to be roughly 5 days of working time.
17 is plenty.
Yeah, we can go for the 500 one, and we can try and scrounge the last like 100 that we need.
So how much do you have on you now? Because you can do a down payment and then pay the rest later.
Right there it's 325.
Alright, so do me a favor, Ryan, and or Doi, since you're also part of this, whichever wants to track it, make a tracker that says like, I don't know, fucking bank loan or whatever the fuck, amulet loan, and you
I'll
and
put
it's
it on.
out of
Bank loan.
and its total is the cost is 500 golden pieces, and it's going to take 5 days to make. So you can take away 325 from that now, and then you're going to have to pay the rest later. So keep your tracker in mind.
Do you want money?
So Ryan, just to be clear, you are doing that? Do you want me to do
Yeah,
it?
I've got it down, don't worry. And then we'll do... current value is 25, and max 500.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Alright, well that will be it then. So you're making, just to confirm, you're making a the lower tier one, which is 17, sets your con at 17, requires attunement, and it costs 500 golden pieces, and it'll take 5 days to make.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright then. Yeah,
And
he's
there's
kind of
another
like,
money from me.
he sets it all up, non-mechanically, he kind of like, you know, writes it all up and takes the cash. I'll take the 325 now, and then you can pay me the rest when it's finished.
Very well.
Alright, I should have this done in 5 working days.
I think we're gonna start heading soon, I think, towards... let's come up.
I can reserve it here for as long as you need.
That would be good. We're planning to head towards, I think, the Witchlight Willows fairly soon.
A few days away. If you're gonna make that trip, it'll be a while into your back, and I can keep it here until then if you need.
Would be much appreciated.
Oh, if you don't return alive in 3 months, I'm gonna assume you're dead, and I'm gonna sell it off to someone else. He kind of,
Understandable.
he like chuckles. He's making he doesn't want to say that cuttingly, but he's saying that like, I will, you know, if you're not back and you haven't got anything in 3 months, I will have to sell it to someone else instead to make my money back. But you know, he's giving you 3 months, so I'm sure that would be plenty of time.
Oh,
It's
don't
like
worry.
it's just like you can tell that he's probably had people before that have put a payment down, said that they're gonna come back for a week later, and they maybe like died adventuring, and then he's like, oh, well, now I'm fucking stuck with this sword or whatever the fuck. So
Yeah.
Shut
Alright.
him up.
Huh.
The one who does the, what was it, awakening?
Mm-hmm.
Are they able to check magical items themselves?
The effects of them.
Because I have this, and I'll take out this fucking stupid piece of shit shiny stone. Put it down.
He looks at it, an eyebrow, one of his bushy eyebrows raises. A stone.
It's apparently not a stone. It was given to me by frogs.
That's what say I need to contain. Imagine just rocking up to a blacksmith, putting a stone on the counter, just being like, it's a magical stone that's not a stone and it was given to me by magical frogs. Just hear me out real quick.
That definitely doesn't sound like schizophrenic.
Yeah.
The realities of what happens in a D&D campaign are
That
hitting
is
the
correct.
DM.
He looks at it, looks at you. You can literally see the seriousness in your face. He looks back at it. Right. Well, I can have her check it if you want, or you can go to her shop herself. It's across the way. It's called Premium Diamond.
Ooh, that sounds like some bling bling. You know what? I'm curious now.
I'm sure she wouldn't expect any costs for just checking an item for you.
I suppose. Don't really
And
have
a free
anywhere else to
identify.
go within this city. Might as well.
Very well.
Well, when we return from the wetlight, I should have your money.
Are you, he looks at you and Pierce. Some sort of adventuring party, by any chance?
We're within one. There's a few somewhere around.
I think they went off to the university or something, last I checked.
I haven't got a clue. I wasn't listening.
No,
Alright.
typical.
Well, I've asked this for a couple of people, but he looks at you quite respectably as a Goliath.
Oh yeah, what? Oh, you're gonna hit us with a fat task. I'm ready, baby.
He needs a job. Let's go.
Can you help
Money.
me lift this anvil? It's a bit too heavy.
On your ventures, I'm looking for something, and perhaps I thought that maybe you could keep your eye out for it, or maybe look around for me.
Material item, what are we talking about?
A location. A lost forge. City life forging has made me dull, like the end of a mole. I need to find an old forge. One that says it's capable and strong enough of melding anything. One that can grant materials and powers to items and armor far beyond any forge itself.
I'll hate to break it to you, but I think that went down with the ship when the Hollow turned around.
No, but I'm glad that you mentioned that. It does strand from the first forge. As you can imagine, from the name of my shop, I'm not, unknown to the First Flame and what it can do. And after what happened in Messelia, I fear that perhaps the heart of molding Etheria is lost forever.
Character's just like looking, and it just looks so confused as to what's being said.
I have base knowledge of
Yeah.
what that is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, yeah.
Like he knows who Yoden is, obviously,
Yep.
Yeah.
but everything else about like
Yeah,
Visalia and
yeah.
some random
That's
anvil.
your great
he's
great
just
great
like-
granddad.
He's just like his eye. It's like if you're watching a child, he's just like staring, just wondering.
I have little to go off, and I wish I had more. Which is why many people have waved me off. But there's rumors of a forgotten forge, much overrun probably by now, that connects all the way to the core of the world.
I wonder what that could be. I don't know. Maybe. I have a good. You know, I genuinely have a good idea what I think that might be.
Essence pass.
No, somewhere else. Well,
Somewhere else?
if
Okay.
I ever come across it, I suppose you could always. I don't know if our magic friends can tell you. Maybe.
Any sign of it, or rumors of it, or maybe a location? Anything would do me.
You have any idea where to look first?
Supposedly, if you see it, you'll know it is it. It's a forge that looks like no other. And like I said, supposedly the lava or whatever they use to smelt things down, the fire comes all the way down from the center of the world. So look out for a big hole, I assume.
I wonder if there's a big hole in the map.
I wonder.
Storm's
Completely
Anguish is a
Yeah, I'm looking at the big hole in the map. I'm just like, ooh. Imagine.
If we see a forge
It's like
found
in the
away
middle
out
of the
in
world.
We'll let you know.
Appreciate it.
Or if we hear anything. Right. Won't keep you any longer. Gives him a nod. Yeah. Instead to what was it? The something diamond?
Premium diamond.
That's the one.
Premium diamond.
Fucking premium currency. Woo.
Seems to
I guess
be
as we're walking,
across the way.
as we're walking, I guess I'll say, what makes a diamond premium? I think they're all diamonds like pristine, premium, like anyway. As I open the door, I'm greeted with.
Yeah, so as you cross the way, you see a shop that the walls and the sides are almost everything is made out of really tall glass. So there's lots of large windows covered with like jewelry and other such things. And it seems to be almost like a shop that replicates the glass top surfaces that keep jewelry normally in jewelry shops, but it's replicated kind of like on the outside. And yeah, you walk in, you see plenty of customers looking around, checking out different amulets and rings and different gem cuts and all of that. And even people that are looking for certain resources to cast spell with come here as well. And then you can see behind the shop, behind the counter, conversing with someone making a trade, is Nira.
Nira, Farah, wherever you are.
She fucking hate you. Nira is a high elven woman with long blondish hair that is in like several different kind of French braids. She's wearing jewelry all over her fingers. Her ears are decorated with them from the long point all the way down to the earlobe. And she even has several of them over her eyebrows and her nose. She's conversing with some of the patrons. She seems to be smiling and quite bubbly about it, and waves them away as the customer pays for whatever it is and walks off. But yeah, you guys are very much within the shop and many other patrons that are here.
Yeah, I'll just go up to the counter where she is.
She looks you up and down.
Hello, we've been sent here by Cult.
Of course you
They
have.
said you'd be able to check out this rock. And I'll put the rock down.
And I'm assuming he said that my services would be for free as well.
That he did.
You can see her laugh, but also being a bit fucking fed up of his shit.
Though we did just put down a big payment for a magical piece, so I think that's where the payment will probably come from.
Right, of course.
But yes,
Well-
this rock was given to me by frogs.
Would you be surprised if I did told you that wasn't the scariest or most outlandish story I've been told about a magical item? She picks up the stone.
Hmm.
Well, it looks like a skimming pebble to me. Let's have a look then.
They told me it's not a stone.
She laughs. She holds it in her hands, and you can see her casting the identify spell on it. And then, after the spell is cast, she clamps it in her hands and places it back down. Well, they
It's not a
didn't.
stone.
They didn't lie to you. This is very much not a stone. However, I do have a faint inkling as to what this perhaps may be. You said you got this from frogs, right?
Yes. 3. 3 frogs.
Ever been involved with the Fae?
I do believe
No.
hags count, right?
Kind of.
Give or take.
Yeah, sure. They're kind of Fae in nature, but this is more of the rainbows and butterflies Fae is in comparison to the hags, which tend to be bones and blood.
Then no. Not
I
the Fae you're talking about.
There is a realm called the Fae realm. Not that many people ever go there and back, or maybe people that have no knowledge of it. Me, as someone who wants to awaken the arcane within things, and is slightly more interested in that sort of thing. I have done some research into the nature of the Fae. They're the type of people that will steal your name and take your mouth. As weird as that sounds. But you can imagine it seems to be on the same line as a stone not being a stone. You see, and she thinks hard as to how she's going to explain this. She puts one hand, horizontal. This is our realm, right? The material plane. And then here, and she puts her other hand on top of the other one. And then the Fae realm weaves over ours, almost like a blanket. We are parallel to one another, but never together. Different, but the same. All at once. It's a different place of existence, but close to us. Do you know what I mean? And she looks at you a bit like, that probably wasn't the best explanation.
Hjarlgron responds with,
I want to make an
What-
intelligence
what does
check
this
to
have
see
to
if I
do with the stone?
understand.
Go for it, yeah, sure, why not?
Awesome. I
You're
good?
midway. 10, you're like...
Okay, I'm getting there. I'm getting there, I'm getting
You're kind of understanding what she's saying, but the whole idea of this Fae realm and it being here but not being here is a bit confusing, but you're getting the idea of what she's trying to say, pretty much.
So it's like mixed, but separate.
It's like oil and water being in the same bowl at the same time, but they never mix.
Oh, I mean, that makes a little bit more sense to me.
Yeah. Well, basically, the Fae realm has... I'm over-explaining. This thing in this realm might be a stone, but in that realm, it might not be a stone.
right.
It would be
Well,
a gesturing to go on.
that's part of the amusement. Fae like to make tricks and adventures out of the smallest thing. I can't tell you what it's going to be in the other realm. But if you manage to go to the other realm, and then the stone becomes what it's not meant to be, but it is what it is, then you can bring it back as what it is and not what it's not meant to be, and then you leave the thing that it's not in the place that it was, and then you have
Stop.
what it is.
Stop!
Right, so we
My
get
brain.
the thing that it is, and then we leave the stone in the other. I understand.
Precisely.
You understood that?
Yes. Why is it difficult to understand?
It can be for some folk. The Fae realm is awfully confusing. But the only thing that leaves you with is two really interesting things. One, you have an item from the Fae realm, which, one, could be quite expensive for the right collector, and two, is awfully intriguing. The other thing is you have to go to the Fae realm. Which... And she looks you up and down, and then appears. I can assume you're some sort of adventuring group, so that's more likely to happen, but generally for the common folk, venturing to the Fae realm normally means you're not coming back.
Do I really give adventurer vibes?
Not really, but you're traveling with someone who's from the Frost?
Gives a nod.
And I'm assuming he's adventured plenty. You look more of the hired mercenary type of vibe.
Wow, okay.
Or-
That's very specific.
No, that's pretty much, yeah. You're right.
Oh,
You give killer vibes, bro.
Yeah, you give murderer vibes.
You give murderer vibes. There's
Traveling-
an air about you. What is that? Iron?
traveling to the payroom, well, that's beyond my expertise. I can tell you what an item is and what it might be from my knowledge, but traveling there and back, that's a whole different matter.
Good. Do you know of ways?
Not particularly. Maybe ask a better audience.
Step into a
Do you know
mushroom
of anyone
circle,
who would
turn the
know?
wrong corner.
Or anyone to ask more knowledge on these things?
I believe people in Adon, or perhaps in the Winter's Court, are more acknowledged with the Fae. Or maybe even right here in the university, there might be someone that knows something.
Well, we are heading to the Witchlight Willows, so guessing we could have a quick stop in Dawnstead. They might know a bit more.
Maybe even asking the people that you got this from. You said there were frogs that spoke and gave you things, so perhaps they are Fae themselves.
I believe Grung, I think they call themselves.
Well, I believe they fall under the category of Fae, so perhaps they
The
know
thing
how to get
is-
there and back.
We'd have to go back a good while. Somewhere south. Millwood, I
Traveller's
think it
Rest.
Oh, I see.
Millwood. And Traveller's Rest is the other
was.
campaign.
Not closest.
I'm a fool.
like you say in
Romer's
Dawn
Rest.
would be...
No, Millwood.
No, it's...
lower.
I've just said it's Millwood. Listen, Nathan.
I'm
Fucking hell.
Good luck, man.
I'm playing the barbarian and I have more IQ. Come on, brother. Like I said, we are going to Edon anyway.
Ah.
Adorn, was it?
Adon. Aye.
We can probably check out, takes out the map real quick, because he doesn't really know the land. This place, Dawnstead first, right?
Sure, it's as good a place as any. That place is quite religious in sense, but maybe they have some knowledge of the Fae realm.
Gods. Maybe we'll avoid that place.
Maybe within the Witchlight Willows themselves there might be something.
Maybe.
But I couldn't tell you.
Well, thank you for your help. And thank you for your help on the piece we've ordered.
Oh, don't you mind about
Cool.
that. Awakening is arguably my most favourite hobby over just selling jewellery and cutting gems.
Well, we were going to get a necklace, but Colt decided to make it a pauldron.
Yeah, she almost mimicked you as she was saying that to try and be like, yeah, of course, he always wants to turn everything into an armor or a weapon. That makes sense.
Well, takes the stone back. If I ever find out what this is, I suppose we'll let you know. Yes.
Sure, I'd
gives
be
a thumbs
interested in
up.
knowing. Well, if you need anything else or want to awaken anything, just let me know.
You can do, like, magical stuff on items, correct?
Sure, I can make certain things stronger with awakening.
Would you be able to do something with this? Takes off the giant bone maul. Just
I sure could. I'm sure something like this has plenty of dormant arcana inside of it.
oh, I would imagine so. It is from the the Lord of the North.
She has no idea, but she looks at you quite impressed. Like, yeah, I mean, I believe it.
The best way I could describe it: a 60-foot tall lightning bow.
Right.
Fucking Volibear?
I see. Well, that sounds as interesting as any other journey that you're going on.
Well, He killed me, so wouldn't really call it
Huh?
interesting.
But
But regardless, I was wondering. I don't even know what you can do with this.
well, that'd be entirely up to you.
Do you have a shop list?
Yeah, if you go into search
If
bar,
you use this app real quick.
if you go into the magnifying glass and search awakening, you can see the list of
Oh
different
shit, yeah, I
awakenings.
completely forgot we could do that now. Awakening.
But it would be expensive, and you've just used all your money, so I think.
Yeah. But I can ask. Oh, it's still not open. I can ask her. See how much it'd be anyway.
I think the prices are
Sure.
actually on there. No, they're not.
Fe- the profession system, how does it work? Is process,
No, it comes up with the ingredient cost for
awakening
each one,
cost.
and then it would just be an extra cost for the fact that she's doing it rather than you. So.
Ooh, blacksmith's edge. Ooh. Ooh, hello.
If I didn't spend all my money, I might have gotten something done, but.
Smuggling. What?
Well, perhaps something that you want to consider next time that you're around. I mean, adventurers tend to come by coin one way or another.
I'm like, I pick up the tome that's on the table. I'm just like, ooh.
Just
Ah.
reading through the blessings. The
Yeah.
only thing is she wouldn't have access to any mythical enchantments because.
Oh, that's fine. I only.
Yeah.
You already know I only want like minors anyway.
Yeah. 'cause
Wait,
she's-
hold up. Wait, pause. Don't take that out of context.
Hold up.
Oh, Jesus
Flips
Christ.
and
What
shits.
up?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, I've become Dream. I'm sorry, guys. Holy shit. Yeah. No, seeing as I don't have any money, can't really do anything. But I'll look through a few of them.
Oh! Sorry, I just read Duelist and what that does.
There's some
I
cool
think-
stuff in there.
If we ever come back with any money, there is one in here that I wouldn't mind.
Well,
Kind of point to it. Actually, he would try and point to it with his finger, he'd probably cover most of it, so he'd pull out like one of his carving knives so he can get like a more direct point and
Yeah.
then just point towards him. This one.
very well.
Heft, I think it's called.
Oh?
That seems quite fitting for someone of your size.
Brandon, these are very nice things that you've shown me.
Yeah.
I have a few
Ooh.
things I could do with something which can't be lifted by anyone but me.
Oh, no,
Gives
it's over.
us
You
one.
put Grievous Wounds in the game.
I was wondering, how much would that be?
Well, it's a minor awakening, I believe. So the cost themselves for all of the ingredients is roughly 400 gold. And since it's only a minor, I would only have to pay an extra 50 gold for the commission. So 450.
Right. I think I put down 325. So a bit more than that bag. Right.
If
Well,
on
hopefully
your
next
jo-
time I
if on your
return.
if on your journeys you find certain reagents that might help it, then that would take away from the cost. Majority of it is, well, having
know-
to buy ingredients from different places and have them taken over from different continents so that I can do it.
That's one thing. The magical essence that you can pull out of a creature.
Mm-hmm.
Could that work?
Oh, that's a lot of the cost normally, yeah.
Well, that's what I've just given to our friend. Well, Colt. So
Oh.
if I can find any more, I suppose I can save that for returning.
It would be a useful way to saving some of the cost. That's for sure.
Right. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
She smiles and nods.
I suppose I'll leave you to your day.
Have a good day then.
Take care. Gives her a nod, and then goes out.
Very well.
Remembers Pierce mentioned that these might be something called a university. It'll just like go back in for a second. Do you know where this university is?
Oh, of course. And then she just gives you directions as to what roads to take and lead to and what it looks like.
Thank you, Neri. You've been a great help.
Well, of course. Whatever I can do to help.
gives her another nod, and then just starts making his way to the university.
Alright. So,
Time for the Goliath to get an education, guys.
as you guys leave the university, and all of that happened whilst you guys were like having lectures and walking around and communing with people in general, you, through the powers of storytelling, somehow meet up exactly at the same time in the town plaza that the Palace of Cards overlooks. As you guys are crossing paths, some of you are leaving the university, and then you two are going on the way to it. You both meet in this large plaza that has a, like I said, this large statue of a man with this kind of like rugged hair, and these golden bangles around his wrist. The statue is made out of this smooth marble, but then they've actually made gold bangles and put them around the statue's arms to represent what they are. And you guys earlier saw that this was Vasilis, one of the champions of light. Yeah, and you both parties that were separated now meet up here at this kind of main plaza. I assume that you guys would see Pierce and Hjarlgron first, considering Hjarlgron's size. So yeah, you'd all meet up in that kind of small plaza that the palace is overlooking.
Hello.
Oh,
Look to Dime. We have your thing ready being made. We just need another 175 gold.
I do not have that.
Don't worry, we'll find it as we're going all the way to the Witchlight Willows.
you've got
Okay.
3 months.
Thank you.
It's will be done within 5 days, and you'll hold it for 3 months. We'll probably have it before that. But it's not a necklace, unfortunately.
I was just about to, yeah.
You said it was a pauldron.
That's what they're making it. Can't have a nice little shoulder. Look at him. It might look good with you.
That would make more sense. I can just graft it to my body.
Fucking melts it on.
Is that how it works?
DO1 the grafted.
Oh, Jesus
Oh my God.
Christ.
We just keep adding bits to him. It'd be great.
Can't wait until he gets his own boss music. DO1 the grafted. Dun, 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 dun.
Plain
Do it,
one.
Brandon. You can make the boss music.
True, true, true.
I love it.
Ooh.
So, look at everyone else. Did you find what you needed in this university? Don't know what it is.
University's a place of learning.
I
I mean, going out in the world is a place of learning. Is there anything specific in there that they can't learn outside?
He's got those street smarts.
It's more of learning from others who have knowledge already.
Again, you can just do that within a town or a city or a small group of people.
That is a small group of people in a town, in a city, right there. University,
seems
there
like-
it is.
That seems like the size of a town itself.
yes, it is large.
What exactly do you even learn from there? Curious.
I learned this makes you immortal.
Like, crouch down. So you're immortal, though?
Oh,
I
no.
was. I am not anymore.
See,
I feel no different, though.
well, if we ever fix it, we can test out if you're immortal or not.
That sounds fun.
Oh my god.
The testing will not be. Use him like a football. Well, we're heading to the Witchlight, right? If we're done within this place for now.
staying, but
We did have a timeline to
That's
get back to
okay.
Crestful, right? The tree within the town.
Did anybody see where that bird was?
With the bird still following us, as I look around.
Roll me a perception check.
Gotcha.
Can I do that?
Yeah, of course you can.
Yippee! Are you helping me, or are you making your own?
Oh, I'm just
No,
making
you're
one.
making your.
I did.
Nice.
All right.
I shall make
As
one
you
too.
all look around,
15.
you don't notice a bird, but
Huh?
you do, Hjarlgron, almost feel like a slight heart palpitation. As you look
Huh?
around, as you look around,
The fuck does he mean by this?
you look at. Obviously, you're looking for this bird, or just generally looking around, and not trying to conceal themselves or anything of such manner. You see someone looking at this statue. Their hands kind of happily behind their back, just holding onto one another, staring up at the statue with a soft face and a calm atmosphere to them. Now, the way they look is they are a man. They are quite tall, youthful though, very slender in their figure, clean shaven, short, blonde, almost white hair, and sky blue eyes that stare up at this statue. They're wearing some white robes with golden and red trimmings. And on the back of the robes, a sigil of two hands clasping a dwindling
No.
fire.
Okay, give me a second,
Oh.
right?
Uh-oh.
See,
The
this-
reason
this-
why you had a heart palpitation is you looked and you almost felt like you saw the side profile of the woman that scorched you. But then when your eyes
Uh-oh.
readjusted, it was just this man.
Okay, so there's two things that might happen here. I'm either going to charge them or I'm launching a javelin at them. There is no in between.
What do you mean?
I'm sorry.
I mean, no,
Did you-
I
did
just
you
thought
not
you
witness
justified
says
it,
what
we
he
were
but-
there?
Yeah.
Did you not witness what happened at the keep?
Yeah. No, I didn't see you, actually. I mean, I'm.
Speaking more of the fireball and then everyone getting disintegrated pretty much. You know.
I was inside. I have my own problems. But regardless,
Yeah, I think you'll all see Hjarlgron reach for the maul. Pull it out slowly. Looks like we have company. And I'll point this person out.
Turn and look.
whoa.
So it's someone who very much looks like her, but is actually a man.
Wearing the same, maybe not exactly the same robes, but very similar
Yeah.
robes with the
Same
same sigil,
iconography?
same iconography, same sigil, same colors. Hair exactly the same color, but obviously short and styled differently. A man instead of a woman, and the eyes are sky blue, much like hers. But he's calmly not even
What's-
looking your way. He's literally just staring at this statue of Vasilis, hands behind his back, and he's just kind of swaying slightly. You know when someone kind of sways onto their tiptoes and then backed onto their flat, and then sways onto their tiptoes and then back onto their flat, and he's just staring up at this statue. He looks like he's in his mid-20s. He doesn't look like a young boy, but his clean-shaven face doesn't help his age very well. He looks more young than he probably is.
How tall is him?
It's not very tall, maybe like 5'10", 5'9".
That's what I'm done with. He's going to be 6 feet down.
Hold on, Chibi.
Right. You know what, Brandon? I'm gonna put my weapon away. I'm gonna walk up to him.
I was gonna say.
Oh. Use your words, right?
I was gonna walk up as well, or I was gonna say to Hjarlgron first. We're in the middle of the town. Let's try and use our words
Oh,
first.
he's not paying any attention. He's locked in.
He's gone.
He's locked
God.
in?
It's like he's locked in, like when you're trying to open your iPhone with Face ID.
Well, as
Alright.
long as he's not just immediately throwing hands, that's fine.
You walk up to him.
I'm gonna walk up as well, just in case. Gesture to the party, just like help, maybe.
Who are you staring upon? And I'll like look up to the statue that he's looking up at.
Takes a
I'll
second.
flank his left.
It takes a second before he kind of like almost like jumps back to reality as he's just happily staring. Oh. You startled me there for a second. This is Vasilius, champion of light.
I'm not really versed within the gods.
He's one of Equin's greatest warriors, if not the best, fighting for a bright future.
Don't do like much of a fighter yourself.
Me? No, gods no. I do not wield weapons of war.
Magic then, perhaps.
In some ways, yes. In others, it's more divine intervention.
Fucking disgusts me.
More a extension of a god.
Jesus, this guy.
Which one?
The god of the sun. As he kind of looks up at it. And he just stares directly at the sun, no blinking, his eyes don't go red, he just stares directly at the sun.
Guys, he's
Jesus.
he's fucking insane.
intimidating.
He's staring into the sun.
Oh my god.
He's
And
fucking
he does
cracked.
not get hurt. He's a bit more than cracked.
So,
I've completely forgotten my manners. My name's Versa. And he put the
Versa.
and he lets out a hand towards since Hjarlgron's been leading the conversation, he will let it out to Hjarlgron.
first name Vice.
Yeah, he'll put out his hand.
He'll meet yours. His hand is like touching a radiator that's like switched to the max. It
It's fine, bro.
burns.
I was handling a fucking drink. It's nothing.
And then he lets go. It's only a quick just shake of the hand and then lets go and looks back at the statue again. He's been talking to you kind of like side profiled.
Oh yeah, no, I've been doing the same.
Yeah,
just staring
yeah.
at the statue.
And then he turns back. It's so easy to forget manners nowadays. I apologize. Who are both of you?
Hjarlgron.
It's a pleasure. Looks to you, Pierce.
Don't mind, my friend. When it comes to manners, there's a lack of.
Oh, I see. Never mind.
Nice.
I'm curious.
Because I was taken away for a second. What
The
happened?
garb you wear.
He touches over it with his right hand and then goes back to holding his hands behind his back.
With the hands clasping the fire.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that somewhere before.
Oh. His eyes finally turn away from the statue and look at you. Oh. Really? That's good. He
Upon a
smiles.
woman.
What color is his eyes, by the way?
Sky blue.
Oh,
Hey, that's interesting.
A woman, you say?
Yes.
Did you by chance have and she kind of begins to describe Thera in pretty good detail.
and an
Be the
explosive
one.
personality meets to boot.
Oh, that's my,
Sarah, correct?
that's my older sister. Yes.
Do you follow the same path that she does?
It depends what you mean, friend.
Now Hjarlgron will turn and face him. Well, she seems to have gone a bit. What do I say? Off the deep end.
Seems a bit taken back. I assumed we were talking of the same person, but maybe I'm not too sure now. No, my Thera, my sister, she's strong-willed and quite cold. Of course, but she's got her head on the right place.
Does working with goblins and bugbears and ogres ring a bell?
I've spoken to a few of them, but she normally handles that.
After something
So it's
correct.
not news.
We are. It's awfully troubling. The last one was taken away by a group of adventurers.
From a keep, I suppose.
Yeah, the one near Crestful.
A shame.
It is. But that's okay. The light always eventually shines again on another day. I'm not worried.
It would
If
be
it's God's
really.
will and all of that. Kind of a very disgusted way he says it.
I can tell you're not a man of faith.
Faith, magic, they're all weak.
He chuckles. Yes, I suppose that could be seen that way.
Visited sometime by Farron, but don't want none of that. I have myself. That's all I need.
I envy
And
you.
what do you have faith in? Ooh, sorry.
I do envy you. I wish I was strong enough to stand on my own 2 feet.
Well, you're standing now, aren't you?
I am, but only thanks to Solon.
Is it? Or is it not your will that did that?
No, gods no. It is through him that I can do what I do. He grants me these abilities.
I wonder what you'd be without them.
A sorrowful, broken man, sadly.
Everything within me right now, I'm just saying, I'm holding back, just clubbing the fuck out of him. I want you guys to know this.
Yeah.
I want to strangle him.
No, yeah, honestly.
You're doing so well.
So, you just visiting, or do you have business here?
He looks at the statue again. I suppose a bit of both, actually. I'm visiting, but I also have some things to do here.
Meeting with anyone?
Not really, no. Finding something.
If you're finding something, you probably already met the people you're looking for, or the thing that you have. That have the thing that you have.
Well, that's the thing. No one really knows how to find it. It's annoying, isn't it? When we come across things that we can't solve. But I'll find it, it's okay.
What is it you're looking for?
I don't think I'm allowed to say. I'm sorry for being rude. Don't think I can tell you that.
Oh, Brandon.
Yep.
when I said he's found the people who has his thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then he denied it, can I insight him
You
to see
definitely can.
if he does know us, to see if he knows us? Personally, I don't think he knows, but I'm going to roll insight for fun.
Yeah, go for it. 17. You are looking at this man with the assumption that the people that he's looking for, the thing that he's looking for in this city, is you. You get the feeling that the thing that he's looking for is not you.
It's the statue, right?
Um,
Or as much as I can surmise.
Possibly. But then again, you guys have the statue, so that would be linked, but he doesn't seem
Okay.
to be aware of that.
Okay, so
But he is
Okay,
still
okay.
saying that he is looking for something here, particularly.
okay. Interesting. Interesting. Do we prod him? I don't think we
Do you
should prod
kill
him.
him on the spot?
No. He doesn't.
Do I stick his
he
head
doesn't
into
know-
the water of the fountain?
Just
Do I
Okay, but
drown
if-
him?
if you start, I can't stop you.
Exactly.
No one here can
so-
stop you. So if you
Yeah,
feel
but
like
if
that's
you-
what's right,
Mm,
go for it, man.
If you heard
it's
him,
on
it's
your
going
head
to summon his
if he
sister.
level 5 fireballs you.
Yeah.
I mean, I can survive a level 5 fireball. That's no problem. Can you guys? Is the biggest issue.
I mean, I'm not standing no by.
I mean, okay.
And
It
if
could
Pierce
be a
dies,
case of.
that's his business.
Yeah, if
Shut
Pierce
up,
dies,
dude.
game's the game.
But to be fair, fighting him here would not be a very smart thing to do. It's better if
No.
we just
I know.
kind of keep him around
Okay.
and then dig for a bit more
Okay.
info.
Right, I have a
Um,
good point. I have a good point to make. Playing the barbarian is very hard because you don't most of the time want to roleplay a barbarian. Why not do the reckless thing? Yeah, it's stupid. Yeah, it probably won't turn out well, but you're a fucking barbarian.
Ah, Skip, you make a good point.
It's what
Okay.
your character would do,
But-
man. It's what your character would do. Do these fucking
Oh,
things. is
we
what your
could-
I
character
know.
would do.
Actually, you know what?
We
You know what,
could.
Chibi, I know what my character would do.
What would your
we
character
could do some
Ryan?
espionage.
I love the conundrum
stake
of
him out.
shoving a quote-unquote BBEG style character into an open space with people. It's my
We
favorite.
could. Okay, listen. We
Bro.
could do some espionage and watch this guy as he's in town. We know where he is. We know what he looks like. We could track him.
I just want to drown him.
Yeah.
I'm-
Yeah, the thing is, it's
That's
probably
from
just
this
Misty
moment.
step away like his sister.
You won't Misty
Yeah.
Step, teleport and explode.
Yeah.
Keep
He'll
in
fire
mind,
step
Everybody
away.
else
I mean,
in
if
the
I, if
square.
I
Up to-
restrain him and
up
stick him
to
underwater, he can't cast anything.
up
so...
into a certain extent, keep in mind that he said, I mean, obviously it depends how much you guys want to believe this and how much I'm swaying you here, but he said that he is not arcane in nature.
Yeah, no, he's divine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
He's a
don't-
cleric, which
Right.
means instead he will inflict
Yeah.
wounds at the 7th level.
That's fine, I can take him.
Yeah, because we've
Can
seen
you-
how weak
Yeah,
Solaris
I
is.
genuinely believe I can take him.
If he crits, though,
It's fine.
then you
I can-
instantly
I
die.
can- Oh no, I won't die. Don't you worry. I can take him.
Sure, man. But as,
Nah,
as
you
a
won't.
as a peace-loving woman, maybe we
As an-
shouldn't kill this
He's
man.
an anti-peace loving man.
Right.
Don't worry, I know what I'll do. Speaking of Thera, is she within this town now, or is she still out?
My sister? Oh, no, she's somewhere else. They sent me here instead.
Well, I hope to meet her again soon.
Oh, if you'd like to, I can take you with me.
Where is it you would be going?
There's this place in Adorn that we're supposed to meet up. I could tell them that maybe I have found people that would like to join us. He looks to Pierce and to you, but he looks and then he frowns. Then again, you didn't say that you're not a person of faith. It's a shame.
In a sense,
My friend here is.
I am. In a sense, I'm not. I do my rituals to Farron. That is true, but it's more so traditional. There's a hint of it that I would not. But
I'll back him up with this.
if having to be religious, I have to get there, then so be it. I just would have liked to have met your sister once more.
I suppose you don't have to be religious to go there, but maybe we can sway you. Maybe the sacred flame can show you, like it showed me.
Maybe.
He smiles. Well, that would be great. Maybe I can make some friends to bring.
I'm gonna kill them all. I'm gonna kill Ferret in front of him. I'm gonna make him the BBEG. I'm gonna enjoy it as I watch the life drain from Ferret's eyes in front of him. It's gonna be nice.
As he looks at you, smiling still. Would the other 5 of your group want to join us?
I'll look around at everyone. You will see kind of an elated smile on Hjarlgron's face.
Does he look
First time.
schizo?
He looks ready. Is the best way I can describe him.
Am I hearing the soft tones of "Let's get ready to rumble"?
Not
dun, dun,
here, but we can use him to get to Therum.
Okay.
Is what he's thinking.
I mean, I say I'm convinced, personally. Thing is, it's always been curious why there is no god of the sun. We have the moon, we have the stars, and the one who weaves them.
Exactly.
It's curious. It's curious to why the sun has been left out.
It is. But it's okay. That's what the sacred flame is trying to bring around, so that people can join us.
You see, this is what your sister said exactly when we first met her.
Really?
She was such a kind woman. She was.
roll deception.
She was
I'm
I-
blatantly lying.
Deception,
Well, she was a bit more
deception,
cold, if
deception.
anything, Pierce.
Very true. With a fiery spirit.
Alright,
I'm in it. I'm in it.
let me roll my insight. Okay.
If I could, I'd use my inspiration to give you disadvantage on it. I'd love to be able to do that.
Rolls, okay. I'll look to you. Oh. Well, she can be quite kind, but, sometimes people see her as a bit cold, and, it's when they don't know her well.
She was stern when we did ask, like we asked you about your symbol on the back. That is the Flame Keeper's insignia, I want to say.
It's the sacred flame. The one that must
Ah,
be kept,
that's the one.
so that it doesn't dwindle and sullen fades like the wick of a candle. It's our duty to protect it.
Okay, Brandon. I also want to run it back.
Mm-hmm.
What would Pierce know of Moira?
That she supposedly died,
She's a gangster.
and then the next time that she was seen, she had these angelic wings and golden threads, and slowly began creating the Golden City, essentially.
She talked of someone,
and-
right? Was it?
And you just know, generally, that something has come into the world known as Moira's Touch, which is turning anything to gold.
Okay. There was a wild story that I'd like to follow up on from back home. You ever hear of Moira? Her name is.
Solon has told us of her once, and what he did for her. I believe she's spreading our word down in Lingard now, which is always nice.
Wait, she's still around?
Of course, she got out safely from the Ivory March.
Incredible. She dies, she comes back. Now she's back again. This is all Solon's doing, right?
Pretty much all of his gifts.
It's fascinating. Now, I, for one, would love to know more. But, as you said, this isn't the time nor the place to do that.
Well, I wouldn't be able to take you immediately. I sadly don't have the powers of my sister. But if you just give me maybe a day, I could finish up my business here, and then we could journey together towards dawn. I know exactly where we need to go.
Oh,
That would be spectacular. But first, I'm going to talk. We point out to him, we've got to converse with the party, of course,
Oh, of course.
so that we can get all our affairs in order to travel forth.
No, of course, I understand. Like I said, I have a day of things to do here first, so it'll be no problem.
Fantastic. Dinner, perhaps? You want to meet up somewhere?
I won't be available for the rest of today, but I'll be here at dawn tomorrow in front of this statue if you want to go with me.
'Tis a shame, but we shall see you tomorrow, my friend. Your name again is...
Versa,
Versa.
the Radiant.
Oh, you've got a
Of course, he's got
title.
a fucking title. The Ballend.
the radiant.
Man, fuck this guy. I can't wait to crush his skull.
Did we
Crush
ever
the skull.
get
Don't
his sister's title?
The Scorch.
Yeah.
You know
The
what?
radiant
No,
and the
I
I
won't-
scorch.
titled the
won't
Skank.
I'll do the opposite. I won't crush Sarah's skull. I'll crush the brothers in front of her. I'll make
Yeah.
her suffer. Bitch.
Damn.
Suck my ass. I hate this.
Oh.
I want to kill him right now.
I came back after getting my food. We've met Versa where?
In front of the statue
front of
of Vasilis, one of the champions of light. He was just staring at it, and then you guys walked up to him.
But... Oof. Yeah, I do believe we shall meet you in the morning. Anytime in particular you want to head out?
Just at dawn at first light is when I'll be here. And then, I guess we can go from there.
Oh, you guys don't do, like, first light morning prayer? Feel like that'd be a very Solon thing to do. I'm, you know what? I'm being super anti-religious right now.
Question,
I
Did you
apologize.
do Friday prayers, Brandon?
You have no idea.
Oh, gee.
Wallahi! If you don't go to Friday prayer, Thera the Scorched will come. And you won't like it.
She will come?
Right, well,
How do you spell Vasilis again?
I won't keep you any longer then. But thank you for the conversation, and he kind of waves to the rest of the party that's just a couple of feet away as well and waves at them. I'll see you all at dawn then.
See you at dawn.
He walks
As
away.
soon as he's like 30, 40 feet away, I look to Pierce. Follow him.
As he walks away, he begins walking towards the Palace of Cards. And as he walks through one of the doorways that lead into the Palace of Cards, you notice how the sun that was on you all of a sudden now gets clouded over again.
Ooh.
The radiant.
Doesn't matter if it's the Radiant, he's gonna be the fucking.
Does it
6 feet
follow him?
under.
When he was like indoors, the daylight that was constantly present all of a sudden went cloudy again. As soon as he went
Safely assumed it may follow him.
As soon as he went indoors, the clouds like gathered again from the autumn time. going
Can
into
safely assume it follows, yeah.
I'm gonna snap his
Crazy.
neck and then look up and flip off Solon. Bitch.
You know what? Can I... How stealthy am I feeling?
I believe in you. I give you guidance with a pat on the back. You don't get guidance, but it's metaphorical.
For damage, I could attempt to track him, but he's in the House of Cards, which is like You know what? That's a pretty crowded area, so I blend in with the crowd. There is a chance.
I believe. Do it, pussy.
Yeah, why not? I want to see what he's up to. Just until, like, give me an hour. I'll report back.
We'll go to the inn that we were told about. I have it on my notes, but I'm writing down notes in the minute, so I'm not checking.
Prancing dough.
That's the one.
As we start walking there, I'll fall in line with Hjarlgron. Did I just hear what I think I heard? Did you two just invite us on a dinner date with the freaky counterpart of the woman who almost killed us?
Yeah, we didn't get dinner.
For the simple reason we're going to use him to get to her.
And
really
get to
wanna go
where we
chasing
need to
after
go.
her?
What do you plan
Yes.
to
Now?
do once you get to her?
One of two things. Either snap his neck in front of her, or the other way round.
And then
not
we
sure
get cooked, right?
Well,
I'm not sure we're quite powerful enough to fight a mage of that standard, and
I do not think we want to fight her. I am in agreement with that. But
I'm all for getting a bit
Also,
of revenge for what she did to us so unceremoniously out of nowhere, but
she killed
right
Doy
now?
after all.
she did almost kill Doy.
yes, but
Yes.
I still think that fighting her and attempting to kill her is not quite the right path.
But I am down to get the information. That just came out of
Regardless.
nowhere, though.
If they're going to where we think they're going, having a guide will make it a much easier journey.
Alright, I mean,
After all, I'm pretty sure we're all heading to the Witchlight anyway.
if we have someone that can get us into where we need to go, are we doing Fey realm travel?
Fair on travel.
Why are we going to the Pharaoh?
I messed up. I messed up my information. I think. Don't worry about me.
You're not even here because you're escorting. I
I was
mean,
gonna say.
following that guy anyway.
Oh
to
yeah,
be
I'm
fair.
leaving. Yeah, I'm leaving. I'm not here. I'm leaving. You see me walk off stealthily.
Roll me a stealth when you
stealthily.
can. Thank you.
Not one. Oh
Ooh.
shit, 23, let's go, game.
okay.
With his sky blue eyes and staring at the sun, he's gonna see me instantly. The bird's gonna see me, and then he's gonna see me. Oh,
Alright. Well, if you guys are done with your conversation, I didn't want to interrupt it, but if you're done with that, then I'll follow Pierce.
Yeah, then we'll just get out to the prancing down and then
Okay. So,
we'll wait till Pierce returns.
following Pierce, you see as Versa walks into the Palace of Cards, the Tiny Queen's abode. You follow. You obviously there's no exact like things to just constantly conceal yourself, but you're quite good at tracking and obviously keeping yourself way back so that you can shadow him for a while without trying to be caught. You follow him, and eventually you go into the main building of the Palace of Cards. It is quite empty here, because obviously it's a palace designed for the Tiny Queen mainly. You walk into kind of like the main opening gates. You notice that the staircases that lead up probably towards the main parts of the palace are guarded by a set of 12 sigil knights. But before that, this is kind of the place where tourists could like come into at least a tiny bit of the palace and have a look around where, without, you know, putting their noses in different rooms or anything like that. They give them at least a bit of a hub.
okay.
See a mosaic on the right and the left that depict a certain story, but I don't think that is in your mindset at the moment, so I'll come back to that at a different time. As you're
okay.
keeping your eyes on Versa, who is calmly walking around.
Is there levels to this plaza?
Well, you're inside the palace now, so you're in.
Okay.
You need to imagine this as like you've just opened the main front doors of the palace. It's kind of like this opening.
Okay, we're in like the foyer.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then like the stairs lead up to the main part of the palace, but those are like off reach, so you can't go there. That's like
Heavily
out of
guarded.
limit. So this place is kind
Yeah.
of like the tourists kind of look at this place of the palace, let you walk around and whatnot. And there's a couple of
Okay.
other exits that lead either down into maybe like the dungeons or whatever that are also guarded by sigil knights. So you're not allowed to go into any of the rooms that are around. You're allowed to like inspect this room and the mosaics around here, but you're not allowed to like enter any further, at least without audience from the Tiny Queen. But yeah, you see Versa walk up to 2 guards that are guarding a gated doorway that seems to lead downwards. He walks up to them. They seem to engage in some sort of conversation. Versa puts his hand over the shoulder of one of the knights, laughingly. They both laugh it off. And the guards open up the gates for him, and Versa walks through. And then they close the gate behind him.
Interesting. Could I glean what they were saying?
Roll me a perception check.
You got it.
DC 15.
I'll use my inspiration for this one.
Alright.
Smart.
Roll at advantage then. DC 15.
Oh,
Speaking of just about making it,
wow.
you kind of lean by one of these marble pillars that are holding up the building, come close but not close enough that you feel like you're being seen, look a completely opposite direction with your back to them, and you kind of like listen out for them. The guards greet him, Versa greets them back, and Versa, basically in a small conversation, after touching his shoulder, just says, "Would you kindly let me past?" And the guards laugh it off and say, "Oh no, of course." And he removes his hand from the soldier's shoulder after that, and the guards open the door for him.
Oh, she's using magic. The naughty, naughty boy.
Is it friends or?
You're not,
it's a type of magic. Oh, I mean, I don't know magic.
yeah, you're not sure what it was. You don't even know if it was magic, or maybe they were just known. But yeah, the words that you get from it is, "Would you kindly let me past?"
Okay.
Who's your mum? Thank you.
Yeah.
Bro's got the siren's touch.
Lightning, thunder. Lightning and thunderstorm.
Okay. Not currently in game. It's...
No, just cloudy skies. Unless Versa is out in them, then it's sunny day.
Yeah. Thunder, lightning, boom, crash.
For some reason.
Alright, so yeah, what do you want to do?
Interesting. Hands in pockets. Why not? I'll be as casual as possible. I'll play the tourist.
Okay, yep.
Whoa. What's down there, guys?
Guards look to you. Oh, nothing much. Just some dungeons that lead down to an old prison. Nothing more.
Oh, that's the dungeons.
Well, not the current dungeon cells. We don't keep any prisoners here, of course, but back a long time ago, yes. We used to use these for prisoners.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Hmm.
So who's that dude one down there? Is he like one of you guys?
They look at each other, look back. Huh? What do you mean? No one's come down here.
Oh, that's weird. Okay. I thought I saw someone go down there. You know, white robe with a symbol of a flame with like hands. There was one of you guys. I didn't see. I'd never seen that symbol before.
They look at each other again. You can genuinely see their confusion. No one's come down here. We don't let anyone down into the dungeons. And no one
You guys
following.
better check then.
They look at each other. Guess it's worth a check. We only have to send one of us down, don't we? Yeah, alright, well, you go check. They open the gate and one of the guards goes down and then he closes the gate behind him. Well, if there is someone down there, and he smiles, doing his duty, we'll make sure to get rid of them, don't you worry.
Okay. Well, neat place.
It is. You should have a look at the mosaics. It tells you the story of how it was built.
Ah, very cool. I'd do that for a bit. I'm not from around here. I came from Visalia.
Oh, right. One of the refugees. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Rough stuff.
Well, hope everything gets better soon now that you've arrived at Kelmont.
Oh yeah, getting around, getting jobs, doing all the fun stuff. So yeah, I'm just here on holiday at the moment.
Well, I hope you settle in.
Getting there. First time in Frontier, so see if I want to make this from my forever home. I need to do a little bit more exploring first, of course, but yeah.
Sounds good. Yep.
Sounds good. Alright, have a good day.
Smiles at you and nods at you. Yep, you too. You see roughly, as you're just kind of waiting around and acting as if you're looking around and taking interest in the building around you. As you're taking interest and acting as you look around, eventually in maybe 5-10 minutes, the other soldier comes back up. And they're not being quiet, you over here, and they just say, oh, there's no one down there, boss, don't worry. Okay.
Might have scarped out, teleported out, or is doing further business in there. I'll report back to the group.
Alright. You all gather back at the Prancing Doe. The building on the outside is quite tall, 3 floors tall. There is a statue on the outside of a woman wearing like these long garbs and holding a violin. The plaque says that the name is Team. Teelim? I know how to spell that out. And both Ambrose and Celwydd would know that this is a statue of a very famous elven musician.
Ooh la la.
Okay.
Just that she was one of the first musicians to like make a name out of themselves. A bard that wrote a lot of songs of adventure and things that had happened. But yeah, just a famous musician.
Who was it? What was the name? Sorry.
What's in the chat? Teelin.
That one. Okay. Teelin.
Rhymes with Keelan, look out.
Yep.
I give Ambrose a little nudge as we walk up to it. Inspiration?
Oh, well, I mean, certainly want to be praised for the works.
Definitely. Was it her songs that you practiced when you started to play your instrument?
Brandon, it possibly would have been a couple elven sort of music, whimsical style on strings and things like that.
Yeah, especially where you first started learning. I would assume that a lot of her scores were some that you would learn from. Yeah, definitely.
Dear old home.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, a fair few of them work their way through the more difficult classes of string instruments once you get going.
I think I can do one of hers. They don't really translate that well to harp, I find.
No, well, see, that's the completely different scaling of the strings. And I mean, how are you supposed to draw out a note? How are you supposed to draw out a note on a harp the same as you would on a string, like a violin?
Yeah, you can't do it in quite the same way. You have to kind of rearrange it a bit, but that's kind of fun to do.
Oh, well, we'll have a little spin on the classic,
Maybe we'll get a request to play it once we're inside.
I'd be honored to.
Guess we'll head in, see what's up.
Alright. As you wander in to the Prancing Dome, you find yourselves in a comforting tavern within the capital. Tending to the rest is Alicia, An elven woman with light brown hair tied up into one long fish braid. She wears a cream-coloured blouse and a long tweed skirt that reaches her ankles. She has a silver brooch with a sapphire encrusted onto it, depicting the image of crashing waves and the silhouette of a woman. Syldia, you would be the first one to notice that that brooch represents Dahlia, the goddess of the sea. Normally worn by sailors and travellers over the oceans.
I see.
Well, the tavern is warm and comforting, cozy, especially for the capital. It seems to be not higher class enough for people to find comfort and feel comfortable in this environment rather than feel like they have to be wearing their Sunday best every single day. And it's a bit more casual, the warmth of the hearth, and it is a kind of step down, but almost a step up at the same time from what you're used to, where there's these several marble pillars that are keeping this 3-story building aloft. And it is a bit more refined with these kind of like almost velvety red and white curtains that seem to separate a lot of the sections of the buildings for some privacy as well. It seems it's nice and welcoming. Yeah, what do you guys do when you're here?
I guess one of us should inquire about room availability? Question mark. Or have we already sorted that? I can't remember.
No, we've not even gone
not
yet,
here.
No.
Well, Celwydd, may I recommend you try a little something?
Try a little something.
Mm-hmm.
What would that be?
It's called approach the owner of this fine establishment and barter our performing skills for perhaps free lodgings.
Ah, I see. All right, I'll try. And she kind of like cracks her knuckle and walks up to the bar.
Ambrose is going to watch with like interest of how she does it.
Oh, Alicia, a very welcoming and rosy-cheeked elven or half-elven woman, is very welcoming as you approach the bar, and she looks over to you. Hiya, what can I get for you?
Sister, we just arrived. My party and I are very weary. We couldn't help but notice the magnificent statue you have outside.
Oh, the one of Teelin. I'm a big fan of her music, you see.
Yeah, so are we. My friend and I kind of point over to where Ambrose is standing with his...
She gives you a jolly wave.
I guess you have your... we are huge fans of her music as well, and we would love to maybe provide this fine establishment with a performance in tribute to Teelin tonight.
Oh, would you really? She seems like really into it. She's like super engaged. Oh wow, I've never had someone come in here and want to actually play her own music. It's amazing.
Yes, we'd love to. We do have one little request to make, as we are so weary from the road, and we've had to spend quite a lot of our income on patching ourselves up. If we could maybe skew the price on our rooms for the evening, depending on how much you like the performance, of course.
With a big smile, she's like, I shouldn't really, but go on then. How many of you are going to be staying here?
Turn around and do a little head count. How many of there are? It's 6, right?
7.
Oh,
Yeah,
7.
but I sleep outside, remember?
Oh, you won't be sleeping outside in Primtier.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You will be moved along. There's no sleeping on the streets in Primtier.
What the fuck? You can try.
Oh no, they have anti-homeless spikes.
Oh my god.
No.
Oh god. Fucking disgusting.
How will you get in? You have to squeeze yourself in.
Yeah, you can squeeze in. It's just going to be a bit uncomfortable, I suppose.
7. One of our companions is quite large, so I hope you perhaps have a bedroom that's big enough to accommodate him.
Maybe one of the double rooms for himself, then.
Yes, probably.
Sure, well, how about you put on that performance, see how I get on, see how many people are interested, and if I'm so swayed, then sure, I'll let you stay here for free. One night, though.
All right, that sounds like a good deal. I sort of offer my hand to her. I'm Celwydd, by the way, and what was your name?
I'm Alicia.
Pleasure to meet you. My companion and I will go and get set up in the corner.
Gives you a thumbs up and a smile. Sounds right to me.
I'll walk back over. Well, I think I managed it. It does depend on our performance, though.
That usually is the case, but it's also never usually a problem.
We're on a good streak.
You guys got it.
Doy, if you'd like to back us up, you can always find something to sort of tap along to the beat, you know?
I do not play an instrument.
What is rhythm?
You'll
Not
see Hjarlgron
Yet, you
pull
don't.
up. I can help. Pulls out big ass war drum.
Oh my
Oh, baby.
Oh my god.
Wait, where did you,
that
where did you
could
keep
come
that?
in handy.
It's been on my back this entire time.
Oh,
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Well,
It
it's
fits
kind
in
of
there.
it's overshadowed by this, and yeah, he takes off the fucking 12-foot fucking arm.
It's just tucked underneath there, is it?
It's pretty much like lodged on top of him.
Of all the things, this is now
Alright.
bewildered Eldrith.
We'll have to work the drum in a little bit. I mean, it's, not usually the most fitting thing for one of these pieces, but
Maybe he could give us a drum roll.
perhaps. But also, this is why you put a little spin on things, make them unique, memorable, you know?
That is true.
I-
We're gonna have to figure out an arrangement that works for both of our instruments.
I could play the drum at equal intervals.
That is perfect. That is usually what drummers do, I think.
I think.
I would not know. I'm not an expert in the percussive instruments. So, will we be setting up and giving it a shot?
Yep, by the sounds of it. She was really excited for us to play one of Tealin's songs, so we should try and make it a good one.
Oh. Well, we better not fudge it up then.
No, definitely not.
All right. I suppose we'll just sort of set ourselves up a little space in the sort of against that wall over there, maybe, just not too far out of the way. Yeah, we'll go there. All right. And I'm going to start unboxing my viol.
very well. Whoever's participating in this performance, then you may
He grabs a
roll
chair,
the
puts it
performance.
behind them, plops the drum down in front of him in between his legs.
I'm quite new to this now.
I have no
Tell me
reason.
when.
Tell me when.
Boom.
How proficient?
Alright,
so
well.
that's gonna be a +3. I mean,
We'll go on 4, okay? I'll count us in. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we start.
Yes,
And I-
Okay, Hjarlgron.
I will maintain those intervals.
Exactly, Doy. That is perfect.
He's like a metronome.
Yeah.
So cute.
All right. And I will count us in, and we will begin our fantastic performance, hopefully, with no flaws.
Yeah.
so I don't know what role this is gonna be. It should be a +3. Regardless, I'm using inspiration, so
Okay. Let's see it.
fucking
Oh,
Count us
shit,
in.
Okay.
And we'll roll it.
count us in, Robo Boy.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Nice.
Oh, no!
nice. Nice.
Oh god. Oh god, he's
Oh,
short circuited.
That'll
It's
be
okay, it's
a,
okay.
that'll be a 21.
Whoa, I need DO1 as well. He's doing some perfect intervals, isn't he? Where's his performance check? He's participating.
He's doing frame perfect. He's got
Oh,
frame perfect. Come on.
He's
I'm
participating.
Frame perfect, baby.
Let's go.
I'll take
It's
it,
the
bro.
most one note drumming.
I love it.
It's on time, but it's just bland.
Oh no, I'm doing the drumming. He's doing the metronome.
Amazing.
I rolled so
So
well.
mine's technically 21.
Oh,
Scotch
okay.
didn't add
Right.
in,
21. Oh,
proficiency.
okay. 21, 22, a 12, and a 5. We can reach
21.
a mean somewhere in the middle. But there's two pretty high scores, a mid roll and a low roll. So overall, I'd say the performance is pretty good. However, I'm glad this ended up like that because the performance ends up being fittingly how you would expect. Ambrose and Celwydd are obviously like, you know, Ambrose is very experienced and he's messed and tried to be in tune over the course of his years with many, many different people who have different skill levels. So Ambrose has managed to weave himself and kind of pick up on people's faults and downfalls. He's like, oh, pick up that note, and you know, he quickly kind of tries to like keep the melody going for a couple of the downfalls. Hjarlgron,
You see
surprisingly,
him kind of like
go on.
like glance over his glasses, lets them slide down his nose a little bit, and sort of stares at Toy for a second. Like, come on now,
What are you doing?
what are you doing?
Hjarlgron
Plays a little bit
surprisingly,
louder.
Hjarlgron surprisingly actually keeps really well in tempo with the beats of over the large war drum. They initially feel out of place, but somehow make it work as the modern take on Keelan's usual very Celtic musician and kind of music notes are all of a sudden now backed up by a war drum, which feels slightly out of place, but somehow managed to make it work. Celwydd, you started off really strong, and then every now and again, the out of tempo, too perfect, and tempering something different feels like it's putting you up. You're like trying to keep up with the notes, and then DO1's constant like wrong tempo changes that are on for some reason on a different note are like slowly putting you off. And then the wardrobe, you're like, what is going on? You're like, why is this happening right now? And Doy, you're just here for a good time, buddy. You're not sure. You just feel
I'm having a good time, yeah.
You think you're doing the right thing by counting 1 to 4 every time, but for some reason it's not in line with everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
No,
like
even my wind-up was purposefully off time.
He's like the kid sort of sitting in a chair, his feet don't touch the ground, he's swinging his feet, and he's just half slapping his hands like casually on his.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
But overall, somehow, you guys, after maybe 1 or 2 songs, after doing a bit of a set, you know what? It's not the worst. People are okay with it. People seem to be pretty happy. Alicia, who's looking at this new take on it, seems to be enjoyable. Maybe it's because she sees a positive twist on everything. Maybe it's the fact that she sees the world through rose-tinted glasses, but she's kind of into this new take on Teelin's Celtic-styled string music that's all of a sudden now very much different and has a war drum and a metronome. So overall, the performance is pretty good, and at the end of it, Alicia kind of like gives you a big hurrah and she waves to you. And she kind of like questions a bit slightly whether to see people enjoyed it, and she says kind of in a laughing voice, from our Melody of Oddities, we have that performance. And you can see all of them being like, some of them are like looking at it like, not sure what that was, some of them are into it, but overall I would say that's a pretty good performance.
Hjarlgron stands up. Thank you. We are across the board, and I kind of like point to everyone in front of me. Gives a nod. Picks up the drum.
Across the, everyone's like, across the board? What board? They're across what board?
Who's bored?
Dude.
Kind of walks
What are they
to the rest of the
across?
group.
Go to give a vague bow, and then like head over to the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Apologies. They were still working out a few kinks with our sort of coordination there. I felt like for a moment I was playing with 7 strings instead of 6.
She laughs it off. Don't worry about it. I actually kind of really enjoyed the oddity of it all. It was different.
It's dreadful.
Well, I mean, there's plenty more where that came from, I suppose. And, you know, if we're ever passing through, we'll put on a strange performance again.
And you said
So, if music isn't the only thing that you like, I can also do dramatic readings and poetry and the odd theatrical performance.
Oh, right. Just I'll keep my eyes out for
I'm a little-
the across the board.
No,
Just see
no,
Hjarlgron
that's-
pop up from behind.
he-
That's the one.
He doesn't know the meaning.
Oh,
He's
right.
not
Oh, I
from
do.
around these parts.
All
Oh.
our instruments are across the board,
Mm,
and all
I see.
of us in general are across the board. We have John Lennon. We have
John Lennon? Who?
look at him. Yeah, it's crazy.
Is that Lon Jennon?
Sure.
The half elf, the famed half elf?
Both instruments and races are across the board, so why not?
Well, as you guys are clearly
Sure.
tweaking out some concepts for your band name, I'll let you all get on with it. But yeah, I think you showed us a good enough difference on Dealin's old takes. So, sure, I think you can rest here for free tonight.
Let's go.
Oh, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
The power of friendship.
Truly. Guys, we don't care about fighting the big bad evil guy. We just want to rock out with our cock out.
Rock and roll.
I want to rock and roll all night and party every day.
But yeah,
Good times, good times.
is there obviously Pierce at some point eventually after you scouting out and eventually making your way back you would join them, but as you are all gathered in the Prancing Doe, is there anything you would like to do apart from resting and sleeping and passing the day?
Mm.
I don't think so.
I don't think I have any time. Would I? I'm scared to ask. Nah, probably nothing's gonna happen if I look for potentially invisible things, right, Brandon?
You're indoors, you need to be outdoors at night to see invisible things. You need
Oh, I need to be directly outdoors.
Yeah, you need to be within the
Okay.
within starlight.
Okay. Never mind. Even if there was something invisible, I would be fucked to it right now.
I suppose that's true, to be fair.
Oh no. What if I just poke my head out? Like out a window?
And if you poke your head out a window, you just see when it's getting to nighttime, few people passing around. Maybe people finishing their shift or just walking down from the bar or whatever. No signs of Versa, if that's what you're looking for.
Versus one thing, I'm scared of the sister, bro.
Yeah, no signs of the Scorch either.
It's not our name.
Well, there's... I don't think I have anything to do, so...
Well, if no conversations are being had or nothing is occurring, then you may enjoy the benefits of a long rest.
Let's go.
Yippee!
Rest.
And bring yourselves to the next day.
And you
Sick
level up?
one, right?
No.
Nope. And yeah, as you set out, are you guys going to the statue?
We shall meet him at the statue.
To the statue.
Very well. As you guys set out this morning, you notice as the first rays of dawn light come over, you notice there's no clouds in the sky, and you can see the sun decorating the marble floor and the pillars of marble with this beautiful orangey light from the dawn's gaze. And yes, you guys follow through the middle parting of Frontier, up through the stairs and around alleys, you eventually arrive at the statue of Vasilis, where from a distance, Versa waves at you and sees you all over in the distance. That's where we're going to leave it for today's session.
Yippee! We have a friend and a
I'm
travel
terrified.
guide.
I cannot
Nothing bad
believe
will
he's
ever
just
come from-
there.
Alright.
Man.
Thank you for
The worst
hanging
part
out.
is he's in an area where we can't do anything about him.
Thank you all for hanging out, and we shall see you all next week. Until then, have a beautiful long
That's
rest.
why.
Bye.
Thank
What?
you.
Wait.
Bye.